Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapring Chronicles. Today we're back at you with another tool video. This is something I picked up a couple of days ago when I was out and about going to garage sales, and it's kind of weird because it was this particular tool. This is a Yankee number 15. North Brothers Manufacturing Co., Philadelphia, PA, USA. And this particular screwdriver was in, I think, a bag of fuses for some reason. Those round house fuses that you see that you screw in. And it was in there, and I was just checking stuff out, and it was like the only thing that that interests me. And I asked the woman how much she wanted for this screwdriver, and she said she took a look at it and said just keep it. So I got this for free, and this one looks to be pretty old compared to others I've seen. It says patent November 2nd, 97. That would be 1897, and May 1st, 06. It's either 05 or 06. So this is from, like, the patent at least is like from 100 years ago, but I think that this screwdriver is probably a good maybe 100 years old. It was pretty pitted, and it was pretty bad, but we're going to try to tear this down today. And before we jump into it, if you can do me a big favor and give me a like, and also subscribe to this channel if you find any of this entertaining or informative, I would appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, when I got this, it was pretty rusted. I dropped this in a vapor rust overnight, and you can see the handle is pretty shot, and the handle was affixed pretty good, and miraculously this screwdriver is still functioning with all the rust and the age and the kind of delicateness of it a little bit. You see what I mean when I tear it down. But this is pretty small. It's about 7 inches overall, with including the shaft and everything is about 7 inches, and the body is pretty small. It's about 3 inches. So here's my hand, and I have a pretty small hand, and it's a pretty small ratcheting screwdriver. Okay, this one, like I said, when I got this, the handle was pretty well affixed, but taking it apart, looking at the shape of the wood, it just came apart, and you can see there it's pretty rotted, this handle. Maybe I'll make another handle or fabricate something and add it to this screwdriver. You can see the wood rust or wood, whatever particles are just all rotted wood. But I'm surprised it was still on there, in bad shape, but still on there. Okay, to take this apart, let me get some of these wood chips off. To take these apart, there's a little screw here in the back. Actually, this wasn't it wasn't slotted. It was just a screw with like flat top, and I don't know if it was like that on purpose. I doubt it, or I don't know how they got it in or out, or maybe the head just fell off of the screw. in time, I have no idea, but I took a razor saw and I did slice a small slot in it, and I was thinking, oh boy, this is going to be one of those deals where it's going to take me a long time to open this up because it's probably frozen. That little tiny screw was probably frozen, but to my surprise, it was loose. It was pretty loose, and I had no problem breaking the screw or turning the screw. And I think this is a brass screw because it's not magnetic. And there's that. I don't want to lose it, but that's what that looks like. And I did cut a slot on that just to be able to get it out. Okay, now the rest is pretty kind of simple. You just press in this button, the button that you use to make the switching. And the button's a little finicky too. It's hard to slide back and forth, but I guess it's the pitting and the age and whatnot. If you get it in the middle, it just functions as a regular screwdriver. It's stopped, and you get it to either end. That's how you're able to ratchet it. And what you do is you just press down this button, and you slide this cover off after you take out the little screw, like that. And you just slide the cover off. Okay. And here's the barrel of the screwdriver. I think it's brass. It's not magnetic either. But here you see all the writing and whatnot. It's pretty thin. Not too thin. Okay, here's the mechanism. There's this switch. I'm sure you guys have seen this before if you've looked into ratcheting kind of screwdrivers. There's a switch with kind of a leaf spring on the bottom that kind of holds these pawls down as it's sliding. Slides and holds one, tilts one up and holds the other one down. It's kind of a peened on there. The leaf is peened to the bottom of this. I think this was pretty pitted, this switch here, the top switch of the switch. And here are the two pawls, and this is the ratcheting gear. And you got these two pawls here, and they're pretty small, and I was shocked that they were still functional and working. You see how small this little edge of the pawl that holds the gear in place for the ratcheting? It's pretty thin and small. And these were pretty pitted also. And here's the top one. They're both kind of identical. One goes with the gear pawl on pointed down on the right, and the other one is pointed up on the left, like that. Okay, now you're gonna see two. Some of them had one. I think more recent ones or ones that they did later on I think this one being older, they used two of these little wedges. This one secures the shaft and gear. It kind of holds the gear over here on the edge. And this one I took out already because that one was kind of tough. You see it's peened. They peened these in, and this one's well peened there. And I have it here. This is the wedge that goes in the back, and for some reason it's bigger than the wedge that goes in the front. And yeah, these do give a little problem in coming out sometimes. Oh, there it goes flying. Here's that little wedge there, and I'll put it next to that one. You can see that that one's kind of smaller than the back one. And now you can remove the shaft and gear. And this screwdriver also has this little wheel here on the back. I think that's kind of a thumb wheel. I guess you secure your screw, and then you screw the slack, the easy slack, and then once it gets hard to turn by finger, then you can do the ratcheting on it. But this is what the gear looks like, and you can see it was pretty well pitted, and the metal is pretty soft on these mechanisms. Yeah, it was pretty soft. You see there. Here's a shot. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, around 10 teeth on this mechanism. So pretty coarse, but okay for a screwdriver. And here's the body, the main body, and the tail that holds the handle. You see it has like slots to help grip the wood, and you still see some wood or pitting or rust needs to still be scraped off. And this is removable also. It has that that bigger wedge that goes in the back, and they're pretty tight fit. So if you need to remove this for any reason, you're gonna need a punch. You're gonna have to punch, like clamp this down and then punch this tail piece out. And for the due to time, I don't want to make this a very long video, so I'm not gonna punch it out. But if you ever have a need to punch it out or to take this piece off, you'd have to take the wedge out and then punch it out, because it's like I said, it's pretty tight fit. And on the bottom there's a hole here, and there's a protrusion here on the bottom of the gear, so I guess that helps to secure the shaft. Also, there's a ring here. You see this ring over here around the shaft, and that also helps guide on this diameter here. So it kind of acts as a guide or bearing there. You see there. So it's the stability, it's helped by the protrusion and by that ring there that kind of keeps it in place. And the tolerance isn't that bad actually. It's pretty good, pretty decent. Okay, to get this all back together, I guess we could leave this off. and you just take your, oh, you need your wedge. Take your wedge. Oof. And let me see. Oh boy. Okay, I just knock that into place. Can I do better than that? Flatten it. Oops, hit the camera. You flatten it in the wedge there, and then to do the other wedge, you have to do the same thing. Is you have to hammer it in, and you take your pawls. You put this pawl like that, and this pawl like this, and then you put the switch on top of them, and this also helps hold the pawls in place while you're sliding the cover on. And remember, this hole in the back is supposed to go for this hole here in the back of the handle of the screwdriver. That's where the screw, the retention screw, goes. Okay, you get it like that. Then you line up the hole with the cover hole like that, and you drop your little screw in. Oh boy. I'm trying not to take a long time, but okay, there we go. Screwed in like that, and now you test it out. And in the middle should lock both ways, and in the back it should ratchet the other direction. And I'll put this on there just so it looks like something. Okay, yeah, that's the teardown of the Yankee, the old Yankee number 15 ratcheting, small ratcheting screwdriver. It's pretty small. It's pretty fine screwdriver. Flat tip by the North Brothers Manufacturing Company, Philadelphia, PA. And yeah, that's what I got. Alright guys, until next time.